Hello, Professor. My name is Divine Bamara, and my partner's name is Strong Farm. This is our presentation for the weather application. First of all, we have the activity, the first activity. For the first activity, we used a linear layout for each location. So the linear layout for each location has three sections. In the first section contains the icon and the condition. I place them in another linear layout so that I can align them vertically. Then there is the location name and then the degree in Celsius. And then going to the main activity, we are getting the live data from the API so that we can display the icon, the condition, and the degree on the first activity. So we use the view binding to get the IDs and set values in the build Gradle file. In the build Gradle file, this is where we set the view binding, build features, view binding equals to true. We also imported some dependencies, the OKHTTP, which we'll use to get the API from the internet, the glide and the compiler, which works hand in hand to put images on the application. And then in the main activity.java, here we are getting the string of locations, which in the view model, we got the URL of the API, but each location would have each location, depending on which one is clicked, it would be assigned to the queue string we defined. And then we imported the weathers class, and then down here we used the for loop to loop through the list of locations to get what particular location. And then down here, depending on the location, if the location is Toronto, the live data displays on the first activity. That's the icon, the condition, and just a second. The icon, the condition, and the degree. So over here, we use the glide to set the icon, and then we use weather.get condition to get the condition from the API, and then the same with the get temperature. And then depending on what button is clicked, if the Toronto button is clicked, it takes the user to the second activity to display the API information for the second for the Toronto location. If it's the Montreal button that is clicked, it displays the API information for the Montreal location. And then the same with Vancouver. If it's Vancouver that is clicked, it displays the API information for Vancouver using the intent. And my colleague Trong Fan will take over for the second activity.
All right, thank you, Divine, and hi, Professor. My name is Jung Phạm, and this is my second activity. So basically, my second activity, I have the back button to come back the first activity, and I have a test view for show the location and country, also temperature Celsius and temperature Fahrenheit. Also, I have a layout to combine the image view, the icon, and the test view to show the detail of the location, temperature, and weather. And go to my second activity. So like the device say, I send the value to the intent by the key queue. So I get on the second activity, I get the value of the queue in here. And also I use the binding to get the ID of the second activity. And also I use the live data on the view model, exactly the live data, the class we create in here. And also for the queue, so when we have the value of the location specifically we gonna find, we retrieve it, go to the query weather in here, so it get the query weather with the URI and the queue value to get the response of the detail of the weather. And I match it, I get it to the object weather in here we created. And also we send it the object to outside the view with a get response to respond it, return it. So when on the second activity, I observe the get response, I replay the data to the view by the binding.ct, and we set state to go out of view. And with the icon we use clip, because clip help us to replay the icon by the URL, not by the email file we need to send it to the project. And also after that we have the back button to go back the first view model. And this is the example we gonna show you. So basically example we gonna see like we have all of data in here fetching on the first activity with Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver. And when we click on Toronto, we're gonna see like the detailed information of Toronto. And back button, you come back, and Montreal, exactly Montreal, and also the Vancouver, detailed Vancouver. And our presentation is done. And thank Professor for listening to us. Thank you.